There are no two words in the English lexicon that strike more fear in people than these words. Jake Paul. At the peak of his powers, this man was a harbinger of chaos, who represents everything not just problematic with YouTube, but everything problematic with his generation.
See the red light? I'm running it.
A man who, no matter how much he is hated on or criticized, it only seems to feed his power as the years go by. As of recording this, Jake Paul has accumulated $100 million worth of hatred. He's become a successful boxer, even defeating an 80-year-old Mike Tyson. But how did this happen? How did this guy accomplish all this? Where did it all begin?
See the red light? I'm running it.
I mean, there's an idea of who he is in my head, which is like a high school jock who is able to just brute force success on the internet.
Oh my god, bro, it's spreading!
That's just what he's been for the last 8 years to me, and that's kind of how I describe his music career too. Alright, quick summary of YouTube music careers. They never fucking work. YouTube music careers are infamous, and they usually fall under 3 paths. First, you have an actual attempt at making music, and it succeeds. 2, there's also an actual attempt at making music here, but they don't know how to make music, so it kind of just stinks. Or 3, it's entirely for publicity. Not only did Jake Paul fall under the 3rd path, I'm pretty sure he actually created the 3rd path of YouTube music careers. Like, if you know about this guy and you know about the music he made, you know it was really, really bad. But in terms of the actual success this music career created for Jake Paul, there's not really any contest here. I mean, it made him really, really successful. But if we measure success in the sense where you had a goal you wanted to achieve, I'm pretty sure Jake Paul achieved that goal with flying colors. Not because he became a successful musician per se, but it increased his brand to the point that his name has become inescapable to my ears for the last 8 years. And he has a lot of money, and I don't, so... But I'm gonna take you back to a special year. The year where this all began. A year that lives on in infamy. Because this was the year Jake Paul released his first song onto the world, and everybody became exposed to the man known as Jake Paul. I'm talking about Shaky. What?
Let me make a smoothie.
But that's not its every day, bro. That's right, it was a fucking fake out. Okay, so for a debut single, Shaky is really, really weird. I'll start with the music video first, simply because it looks like it was edited like one of those illegally uploaded Family Guy episodes on YouTube. Now, as for the actual song, it's a song about how Jake Paul puts a lot of fruit into smoothies. And I can't tell if this is supposed to be innuendo or not. Like, there's nothing in the song that implies innuendo, but the music video has like a bunch of hot ladies, and one of the ladies has a big smoothie poured onto her. Oh, how messy. I'm just getting mixed signals here. Okay, so why is Jake Paul's first song about blending smoothies? I have a little bit of an answer for that. Okay, so in 2015, there was this little app called Vine, and the Paul brothers were on Vine. And the difference between the Paul brothers 10 years ago on Vine and now is that when they were on Vine, they were trying to be internet comedians. They were trying to be internet comedians in, I guess, a more traditional sense. You know, they were collaborating with King Bach and,
There you go, baby! Hard work!
I also think 2015 was like the last year the internet took itself seriously, and by that I just mean it didn't become drenched in irony. So I think when you look at Shaky, I think it is meant to be taken at face value, where it's about how much Jake Paul likes smoothies. And with that, the song has a closer DNA to like something Fred made in 2010 than it does to any other Jake Paul song. The Paul brothers aren't stone cold or anything, but they were setting themselves up to be goofballs. Like, Jake Paul was on the Disney Channel show where he was the wild card character, and then Logan Paul made a movie called Airplane Mode, which, although released in 2019, was filmed in 2016, which you can tell because they have a joke about Jake Paul's Disney career, even though by the time the movie came out, he had left the show for 2 years. What I'm saying is that between 2015 and 2017, something changed in the Paul brothers. Before 2016, they were silly. They were goofballs. Oh my gosh, it's the Jakey Paul Vine compilation. Logan Paul's like collaborating with Kevin Hart to make like a 30-second skit video. It was a different time. Another fun fact about Shaky, the voice actor for Beast Boy from Teen Titans is in this song. I don't know why. He's a feature? He's just in the song.
I put 'em all in the blender and I shake 'em up.
But that dirty President Nixon.
Shaky happened, it flopped, no one cared, a couple years passed by. In the next 2 years after the song, most of the public was completely oblivious to what Jake Paul was doing around this time. Like, I didn't even know Logan Paul had a kid brother around this time, but that would quickly cease to be, because on March 30th, 2017, it happened. I'm talking about the meteor that hit Pangea, the nuke that dropped on Hiroshima, the plane that hit the second tower, the video that was uploaded on YouTube. Trust me, this was my 9/11. I don't want to be one of those people that say like, oh, if you know, you know, but it doesn't make as much sense if you weren't there, because what is this novelty song about a guy bragging about how good his vlogging career is? Like, why is this the thing that like changed everything? So for the people that don't know, this song is what I like to call a disaster piece. A piece from a medium that's so bad that it's actually impressive. If a single detail were to be changed about this song, it would actually become better. But to change a single detail about this song would also take away everything that makes it so appealing. In a way, it's like Jake Paul's magnum opus. It's a lightning in a bottle moment that somehow continues to age like wine. The first 10 seconds of this video are etched into my brain. From Jake Paul's first words being, "Y'all can't handle this," to the woman ad-libbing the title of the song, and then you cut to these KFC hoodies, but it's not actually KFC, it's OFC, and Colonel Sanders is replaced with Jake Paul.
Y'all can't handle this. Y'all don't know what's about to happen, baby. Team 10.
Y'all see me on my hoverboard? Y'all can't handle this.
Like, you can't replicate that. You can't replicate what you're looking at right now. And then the song actually starts, and Jake Paul gets out his Lamborghini, and he snaps so loud that it cuts through the entire song.
It's every day, bro.
And they had to add it in post. I don't know why they did that. Why did they add the snap in post? And then you just have these random cuts where he's like whipping nay-naying on a couch. And the stuff he brags about in the song, like Lamborghinis and Rolexes, it doesn't really feel so much like bragging as much as it has like the energy of a 5-year-old who like paid $20 for a card of Hoppip because the guy who sold it to him told him it was really, really rare. Jake Paul gives off that energy more than he actually gives off the energy of bragging about like how rich he is. Or what about this shot where he points at absolutely nothing and then hits the whoa? Like, I haven't even talked about the lyrics. This entire first verse, it's beautiful. It's masterful. If I were to quote everything iconic about this verse, I would just be reciting it. Disney Channel flow, 5 mil on YouTube in 6 months. Who the hell are flipping you is the greatest use of swearing and not swearing I have seen in the same sentence. The random part in the middle where he starts rambling about his ex-girlfriend, selling like a god church, I use Usain Bolt and run, Jake Paul is #1? If you went to a dictionary right now and looked up the definition of an unstoppable force, it would just be this verse. Nick Crompton, my favorite member of Team 10, Mr. England is my city himself. They had merchandise of this guy where it was just his face on a pillow, and the worst part is that I can't buy it anymore. Chance Sutton.
2 months ago you didn't know my name.
Who the fuck was this guy?
2 months ago you didn't know my name.
Can we switch up the language? Then the Martinez twins rapped in Spanish about how Donald Trump is richer than them. Then immediately after mentioning that, they talk about how they don't have a visa to 300 million people. Their last upload was 5 years ago, so I don't know, I guess they got them. Tessa Brooks is so useless in the song that it's actually hilarious, and she also lobs the line, "Is that your boy's cologne?" to which Jake Paul responds with, "Is that your boy's cologne?" Okay, I assume Jake Paul had some intent to troll with this song, but I don't think he could have purposefully crafted every detail in the song to be as hateable as possible. This video at one point was the 3rd most disliked song on YouTube, and it's still in the top 20 somehow. I love that so much. I'm so proud of this community. Okay, the song came out, everyone said it sucks, everyone disliked it. But the song was also kind of an event horizon on YouTube. Once this song was released, there was no going back. Firstly, people like the Paul brothers were still coming from the ashes of Vine after it shut down, so when people like them came on YouTube instead, it was called the Viner Invasion. But when this song came out, that title quickly went away, and they were just too ingrained into the YouTube algorithm and culture of YouTube to be considered outsiders anymore.
Let's start off with the person who is becoming the biggest douchebag on the platform. The one, the only, it's everyday bro, Jake Paul.
Not to mention the amount of commentary YouTubers that got a job overnight because they talked about this one guy. PewDiePie's video on Jake Paul alone has 48 million views, the 13th most viewed video on his channel. The modern commentary format on YouTube has Jake Paul to thank as their catalyst. Drew Gooden, Danny Gonzalez, Cody Ko, Eddie Burback, Curtis Connor, and so many more have Jake Paul to thank. Mr. Beast reacted to It's Everyday Bro for 10 hours and got millions of views from it. Jake Paul enabled the largest creator on YouTube to acquire a net worth of $1 billion. Not to mention how this song launched Jake Paul's own career into the stratosphere. Without this song, you wouldn't have him fighting Mike Tyson. Would Logan Paul have his own boxing career? His wrestling career? His drink? Would Lunchley exist without It's Everyday Bro? Would this exist if not for It's Everyday Bro? Would Post Malone appear in a content cop if not for this song? Is this song why Joji has a career? Is this song the reason H3 is suing a bunch of people? To what extent has this song affected the culture of white America? I don't think it's an exaggeration to say this is one of the most important videos ever uploaded to YouTube. Not because it's good, but because it's the fucking paradigm shift. People did things differently after this song, I swear. For me, it feels like this song kicked off the era of the internet that I know now. TikTok, influencers, beastification, none of these things probably came from Jake Paul specifically, but it certainly feels like it. Part of me will always be mad that I wasn't a quirky 22-year-old in 2017 that could make a commentary video about Jake Paul, because it feels like once every few years there will be a video so controversial and loathed by everyone that everyone who makes a video about it gets instant success from it. I'm not envious of their success, I'm just envious of their really, really good timing is all. The closest thing I get to having success off Jake Paul's name in this song is by making a video like this, a retrospect, which is like the sloppy seconds, or even sloppy thirds. I'm not really keeping track. I feel like I should add extra emphasis to this. With this song, at least, Jake Paul did not intend to take himself seriously as an artist. This song was made purely with the intent to increase Jake Paul's profile on the internet, as many a YouTuber does with these careers. But no one did it quite like Jake. He can't rap, he can't sing, he has no ear, no songwriting ability, but he's able to market himself, and that's all that mattered. He compressed one of his vlogs into a digestible 3-minute song, and it has 300 million views now. If art is meant to disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed, then yes, this is art. Okay, so out of the 19 other songs that I still have to talk about, I mean, it's kind of difficult to compare to this one. Don't get me wrong, Jake Paul in 2017 was still a behemoth, a force to be reckoned with. He created a string of songs this year that it's difficult to compare in terms of like how like rage baity they were. It helped boost his career from being just a one-hit wonder, but nothing else truly compares to It's Everyday Bro. Musically, it was a blip of sound in an ever-increasing void, but YouTubically, it was irreversible. It changed how we make and consume content for better or for worse. Obviously, there's so many factors that change how we consume stuff, but if I just have like one big scapegoat, I think it's this song. Now, you should take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'm a little bit of an unreliable narrator just because I'm speaking from memory, but at the same time, I think this should give you the impression of what this song did to a terminally online teenager in 2017, because I wasn't the only one. 2017 wasn't just the year of It's Everyday Bro. This 20-year-old, wait, he was actually 20? I mean, it makes sense. I never thought about it as all. Like, he was in a mansion at 20 years old. Huh. Well, not many 20-year-olds can say they had a career quite like Jake Paul did. I mean, heck, Michael Jackson didn't release Off the Wall until he was 21. So what was the next single, the follow-up to the biggest song of 2017? Well, it was Ohio Fried Chicken. And it's called Ohio Fried Chicken because Jake Paul is from Ohio. And I guess it also explains the hoodies. And by the way, I'm basing the timeline of these songs from what I saw on albumoftheyear.com instead of like how they might have been released on YouTube. So some of the release dates might be a little flimsy, but this is what I'm going off of, okay? In Ohio Fried Chicken, there is a clear statement at the beginning of the song that it was written in a single day.
We made this in one day.
Depending on how you see it, this is either an achievement where only the greatest artists can hone in on inspiration while it strikes and get into a moment so focused and concentrated that they're able to create a song in less than 24 hours, or you're Jake Paul.
Honky dog, honky dog.
The trolling of the song is a lot more obvious. Jake Paul puts on a thick country accent and he talks silly and goofy. I do think ultimately Jake Paul realized the power of upsetting people with music. This isn't to say people didn't enjoy the song, but what I'm saying is that the people who did enjoy the song were really, really impressionable. They were 4 years old. In this song, Jake Paul does his most exaggerated country accent while his Team 10 goons also rap on the song because I guess they're from Ohio too. That's right, baby. We got Chance Sutton on another track. And we also got his trusty cohort, Anthony. I don't feel bad for saying this. Chance is the only person who actually tries on this song, so he'll get the highest form of praise I can possibly give in this video, which is that I don't hate his part in the song. And in general, this song is one of the more tongue-in-cheek songs Jake Paul made, so I just can't get mad at this song. In the next couple years, you'll see Jake Paul try to recapture that fine balance between so bad it's funny and genuinely infuriating, which leads us to our next song, Jericho, which does neither of those things. I think this is his actual attempt at a song. It kind of sounds like it.
You make me feel special.
In terms of chart success, this is Jake Paul's most successful song, but it also actually feels the most like an actual attempt at a song that Jake Paul has made. At the time, Jake was dating Erica Costello. Who is she? Doesn't matter. I will give Jake Paul credit for one thing. Out of the plethora of YouTubers that are able to just throw money at producers to make songs, I think Jake Paul was actually able, regardless of serendipity, to have some of the better produced songs out of most YouTube music careers. The song is compressed to shit, but it also has actual bass, which most of these YouTuber songs don't have. As it turns out, ripping off The Weeknd is not a bad idea for getting chart success, but they just never did it again. I don't think Jake has enough sensuality to even be a good Weeknd ripoff, but it also means there was never a song this well produced again. Also, there's this guy in the song, which I thought this song was meant to be like a love ballad between two people, but he just has like a random rap verse in here. I don't know who this guy is. I guess he's a part of Team 10. I don't know. He's not Chance, Nick, or the Martinez twins, so I don't know who the fuck he is. Next is That Ain't on the News, or as it's more commonly known as, YouTube Star's diss track.
Comedy Shorts Gamer uploaded a video today titled, I am joining Team 10.
This is probably the next song after It's Everyday Bro that truly stirred up people enough to actually make fun of Jake Paul again. It also wins the award for funniest first line to any Jake Paul song.
Where was your land when I was on the email trying to stop the press fans from killing themselves?
There's not much to say about this song other than that it feels like rage bait for the sake of rage bait, but it is genuinely a really funny song. Yeah, Jake Paul's saying the media is trying to control the narrative and he can't show his side of the story where he's actually a really nice guy, and that's about it.
He says that he does all this great stuff and it never gets covered in the news, and he's just a human too.
After that, we're greeted with I Love You Bro, which is a heartfelt duet with his brother where he apologizes to his brother about something. Easiest way I could put it, Jake Paul sounds like an actual 7-year-old in this song, and it's hilarious.
I'm so sorry for all things I said.
This was released in tandem with another song released on the same day on Logan Paul's channel, Rise of the Pauls. In that song, they rap about how successful they are, and yeah, they are pretty successful. I can't even argue with that. They talked about how the sheer mention of their name pays the bills for hundreds of YouTubers, and again, they are right about that. People monetized so much off of their name, and they got to reap so many benefits from it as well. As prideful as the flexing of the Paul brothers may seem, what does it say to the greed of a YouTuber that uses their name knowing they're promoting these arrogant personalities? Both of these songs were recorded on the same day, and you can tell because they wear the same exact clothes in both of these videos. And also, less than a month after these videos were made, Logan Paul made a diss track about his brother, and it also sucks. Like,
Little brother Jakey try to roast me.
that song actually does suck.
Little brother Jakey try to roast me.
But for some reason, the Jake Paul diss track almost has as many views as It's Everyday Bro, so I'm assuming the Paul fans fucking ate this up like candy.
Little brother Jakey try to roast me. What?
Alright, this video is about Jake Paul's music career, and it's going to be about Jake Paul's music career, but I will be damned if I don't talk at least a little bit about Logan Paul's music career, and by that I just mean hero.
I saw this video saying, Logan, you're my hero. Saying I'm the man like I'm some type of Robert De Niro.
I want to talk about this song. Please, thank you. This is like one of those songs that by all means should be like satirical and in nature, but it isn't, and it's like 100% serious, and it's so much funnier for that. Logan Paul sees one of his fans make a video for him talking about how great he is. So what does he do? He flies the kid over to LA and puts him in a music video where the kid talks about how great Logan Paul is, and then Logan Paul's like, wow, this kid is super nice.
Song about me twice, no, and that's really nice.
Logan Paul flies the kid over to LA and makes a song about him where he alleges that this kid might be the second coming of Martin Luther King Jr. and then uses him to plug his merchandise. And in general, the only kid's verses are about how great Logan Paul is and that like Logan Paul is his hero. Everyone should have a hero. Logan Paul is my hero. He's so nice.
Logan is my hero. He is really nice.
Like, the tone of the song feels more like a Lonely Island song than like an actual song. Like, the song is a little silly in nature, but like, it's serious. Like, he's serious about all this. He just uses the kid to like promote how great he is. And it's hilarious. You can even hear Logan laughing to himself at the end, like he can't believe he just got away with what he did.
Make sure you like and subscribe. Get your Maverick merch, link is in the description.
There's this one shot in the video where they high-five each other in the air and they fucking miss. Intentional or not, this is the funniest thing either of the Paul brothers did. Because why did he put the original song the kid made at the end but with a ton of reverb? And speaking of diss tracks, Jake Paul had a few diss tracks made about him since, you know, it's the YouTube music career whole spiel, so we gotta make diss tracks about other YouTubers. One of these songs was It's Every Night Sis, which was by Rice Gum, and if I can be just oh so honest here, it's worse than anything Jake Paul has ever made, and I'm being so serious about that. Okay, I'm usually pretty forgiving of people's upbringings, like the stuff you grew up with just so happened to be the stuff you grew up with, I understand that, but I legitimately feel bad for any person who has nostalgia over Rice Gum. Like, I have actual pity if you have any sentiment towards past Rice Gum. He might genuinely be the most obnoxious person I've ever seen on YouTube. I went back, listened to the song, even watched a couple Rice Gum videos. I can't stand like a second of him. He's so fucking obnoxious. When Jake Paul brags about something, it's really funny in a way where it's like he's bragging about something he doesn't know is a scam. But when Rice Gum brags about anything, even like trying to diss Jake Paul, it comes off so insecure, like tenfold insecure.
Wanna flex on my wrist, I put some ice on it.
Rice Gum genuinely infuriates me in a way Jake Paul could never. Okay, like Jake Paul is someone I love to hate, but Rice Gum genuinely drains me of like any joy.
I choked. As a human, I should have got more kills. I should have got more kills!
Speaking of songs by Jake Paul, what about a song for Jake Paulers? The Jake Paulers song. A fun fact about videos like these is that no one has watched them for 7 years, so you just see comments being like capsules of the time and with all the quirks and charms of the era of that internet. This is just a song talking about how great his fans are for supporting him while a bunch of kids dance behind him. Another God Church line put in there, merch link in bio. And I won't lie, he has enough charisma where being a fan of his sounded pretty cool if you listen to a song like this. I've never made a song talking about how great my subscribers are. Maybe I should do that. Next song is called No Competition. It's actually made by this kid named Neptune. Who's Neptune? I don't know. I think he's an industry plant. He has a song with Post Malone for some reason, so I'm just going to assume he's an industry plant. And as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure this is just a song by Neptune with a feature from Jake Paul, but it's also on his Album of the Year page.
Attention, attention, y'all. What? It's every day, bro. Yeah, your boy Jake Paul.
I'm not going to talk about Jake Paul features in this video. This is like the exceptions, I guess. Yeah, there's a reason we don't know who Neptune is, and it's songs like these because they're boring. I think he talks about Fortnite in the song.
Play a little bit Minecraft.
Next song is a top 3 Jake Paul song. I'm talking about Saturday Night.
What you doing this Saturday night? Me and you this Saturday night.
This song takes itself the least serious and it's the most fun out of any Jake Paul song. There is something genuinely charming about this song that none of the other songs have. And it probably has to do something with the fact that our boy Nick Crompton is on the track and his entire gimmick is that he's British.
I got my diesel last Saturday night. Last Saturday night.
I'm not going to say this song is a guilty pleasure of mine, but I can sit through this song a lot easier than you might think. Jake Paul knows he's not making a good song here, but he's also not trying to make you mad or upset you. It's just fun for the sake of fun, a trend that dies out far too soon in his discography. Around this time, Jake Paul remixed this Everyday Bro featuring Gucci Mane of all people. Putting it simply, this version's inferior to the original. I can't believe I have to say that, but yeah, it's inferior. If the original was lightning in a bottle, then this is Jake trying to synthesize his own plasma in a bottle. Somehow this verse feels even more unfinished than his original verse on It's Everyday Bro.
And I just dropped some new merch, and it's still really selling like a god church.
And I also had a really weird revelation with this song specifically. Jake Paul is a worse rapper than Gucci Mane. I don't think that's something shocking to say, but I also took way more out of Jake Paul's verse from this song. There's just something about whenever Jake Paul speaks in a song that I get emotionally attached to it in a way that I can't with Gucci Mane, which is technically kind of a compliment. There's just a degree of showmanship that leaves me with a stronger impression of Jake after I listen to the song, and that includes the impression I had with this verse. Gucci Mane is alright on the track, but maybe Jake Paul has something you actually can take away from as a musician. What am I saying? Jake Paul's ability to generate emotions out of people through his music is something that you just don't see in a lot of artists like him. If I think about this for too long, I'm gonna end up in a straitjacket, so I'm just gonna say, listen to Have It All. That's a Gucci Mane song I like. It's produced by Pharrell Williams. I'll just leave it at that. One song I almost forgot about is the last song made in 2017, a Christmas song. But the song isn't just about Christmas, it's about litmus, because Christmas is litmus.
Christmas lit.
Is there anything to talk about in this song other than Jake Paul's old lady outfit? That's pretty funny.
There's too much fucking shit on me, I can't breathe.
Oh, Slim Jimmy's on the song too. I think he matches Jake Paul's energy a lot more than Gucci Mane, and there's also one more classic Jake Paul line in this song to end off the year with.
My parents are divorced.
So that is Jake Paul's 2017 run. It's pretty hard to replicate, I'm not even gonna lie. Jake Paul's next song after this is I'm Single. I'm guessing he broke up with Erica Castell. I have nothing to say about this song. It means nothing to me. Honestly, I think the last great Jake Paul song that got a reaction out of people was My Teachers, where this entire song is just shitting on teachers because they didn't teach him how to make awesome YouTube vlogs and how to get Gucci Mane on your song remix.
Why don't you tell us some shit that we're actually gonna use in our real life?
I remember this one in particular being shat on a lot because it's just a really bad message to put in a song for your kid audience. Probably not the best idea to talk about how useless school is to a kid and how you should blame the teachers in your school that when combining their salaries probably still make less than what Jake Paul makes in a single year.
My teachers never taught me that. How to deal with this or that. How to make my paper stack.
I think the best way to put it is that this is the only song on the album of the year that has a 0 rating. This has, out of 21 reviews, a staggering 0. And by sheer ethics, this probably is the worst Jake Paul song, but it's definitely the third most impressionable Jake Paul song for me. But this was the last great Jake Paul song. This is the last Jake Paul song to feel like Jake Paul, at least in the traditional sense. After this, Jake Paul focused less on his music career and more on his boxing career, which kind of sucks because the music's way more entertaining to me. And most of the songs he made after My Teachers were made more for his boxing career rather than his music career. Take something like Champion, for example, where you see him boxing on the album cover. I'm pretty sure this was meant to be like entrance music for him. And I understand why he didn't focus on his music career as much when he started boxing. When you box, like, you actually have to train for it. It's not just something you can like half-ass, because if you half-ass boxing training, you'll just die. And when you train for that, that gives you less time to focus on the music and vlogging. But also after My Teachers, I think Jake Paul's music took a different direction, and by that I mean I think he was trying harder to actually make music for the sake of being listened to, except it also made his music way more boring. And I think it's just because his attention was divided between everything he was doing at the time. The boxing gave him way less time to focus on music, and you can see his output dwindle significantly from this. Listening to these songs, it's very clear he has people ghostwriting for him now, now, and his heart just isn't in it the same way it was when he was talking about how it was every day, bro. Or even if it was like a Saturday night. It feels like people are trying to make him do things that he's supposed to do in songs instead of what works for him. So you end up having songs that are technically more proficient, I guess, but they're also just boring. They're just boring songs. They go in one ear, out the other. Okay, when It's Everyday Bro goes in my ear, it never left. It's still in my head. It's playing right now, actually. Jake Paul in general just doesn't care enough about music to actually put in the time to make something that would be objectively good. I'll give him credit where credit is due. He has clear strengths as a performer, but he does not care enough to actually invest time into making music outside of publicity stunts. Which, speaking of, one of the more significant songs he made after 2018 was the Dana White diss track. A diss track towards the CEO of UFC. Honestly, I don't know how real their beef actually is. I just kind of assume it's fake. And that's just because I assume any feud with Jake Paul is fake at this point. But the disses in the song actually are pretty aggressive. Way more aggressive than I was expecting. But really, this whole song functions more as a footnote to his boxing career than his actual music career. This was the only song he made in 2022. It was his first song since 2020. And even then, 2020 was trickling off with the music too. None of these songs are goofy enough to make fun of. It's not really arrogant enough to be mad at. It's just kind of dull because I don't care about Jake Paul boxing. And also, if there's going to be a feud in the UFC, why is it between two people who aren't even fighters? I mean, just get in the ring and duke it out. Finally, we're at Jake Paul's last song, released in 2023, called Witness. It accumulated a modest 2.3 million views in a year, but it's a far cry from the towering 300 million views that we've seen a long time ago. It's a song used to promote his boxing career. I don't even remember what it sounds like, and I think that's the biggest takeaway you can get from something like this. I listened to it multiple times too. It's dull. Honestly, it does kind of make me sad that Jake Paul's music career didn't go out with a bang or even a whimper. It just ended with indifference towards music. And to be fair, it was never really about the music. It was never really about creating art. It was about creating a name for himself, which is what he ultimately did through his music. But man, was it more entertaining. But I'll be honest, even if he tried to do the same like baiting tactics in songs now, he's 28. I don't think a 28-year-old can rage bait as good as like an obnoxious 20-year-old. There's just so much more energy there. There was a joy in those songs, a joy in someone who loved to be a villain, but that joy is no longer present, not in the latter half of his music career. Gone are the times where it was funny to record a song in one day. It's just expected of him now. And compared to someone like KSI, who's in a similar sphere of influence to Jake Paul, including the boxing stuff, but I actually felt more care from him when it came to his music career. Like, I know the joke's like, oh, the thick of it sucks, but he actually made albums, and I'm actually convinced KSI listens to music. Like, he actually had some sense of culture in his music by having other UK artists or incorporating trendy UK sounds. And that's only something you can do by actually knowing what music is being played in the world. And I just never saw that in Jake Paul, which kind of works when you're playing up your arrogance, but it's unsustainable and it showed in due time. In general, it's hard to say anything profound about Jake Paul because everything he does is ulterior. The music was made so he could be more popular on the internet, and the boxing career is also made so he can be more popular on the internet. And I guess like he's just making money and he's gonna keep making more money. Here's the thing though, I don't think anyone cares about Jake Paul anymore. Like, if you look at the comments of his most recent videos, no one's actually talking about modern Jake Paul. They're all talking about like how much he's improved or whatever. Like, the thing is that Jake Paul will always be compared to his 20-year-old self, and it's because we experience something from a 20-year-old Jake Paul that we don't experience from a modern Jake Paul, and that's emotion.
Let me make a.
Hey. Oh. Hey.